Okay, we're ready. You're on mute.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the 2058th meeting of the City of College Place City Council. It is Tuesday, August 25th, and I have it is 7 p.m. Will the clerk please take roll call?
Councilmember Bobbitt,
Present.
Councilmember Cleveland,
Present.
Councilmember Peterson,
Present.
Councilmember Selby,
Present.
Councilmember Sherman,
Present.
Councilmember Trope,
Present.
Mayor Hernandez,
Present.
Administrator Mike Rizzatello,
Here.
Finance Director Brian Carlton. He's on.
Yeah, present.
He might be muted. HR Manager Sean Doring,
Present.
Sergeant Parker,
Present.
and then myself. Oh, and Ree Colwell is also here.
Great, thank you. We do have a quorum. Will you all please join for the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Right, thank you. I do want to excuse Councilmember Nyhagen, who is not available today, so she is excused. And then next, I'd like to take a moment of silence instead of our usual sign-in prayer, and we lift up the family of Robert Gordon, his children, his wife, upon his passing this morning. And also for the City Council, I would like for us to lift up his co-workers because they worked closely with him and they are grieving just as much. So please have a moment of silence and lift up the family and co-workers of Robert Gordon. Thank you. It's a difficult loss for us at the city. His absence is going to be felt significantly, and I'm sorry for us all at his loss. It was a shock. And, you know, we are a family, so it is a terrible loss, but I am grateful that his wife and children were with him. So it's a blessing for them to have been able to share time with him. But again, lift up everybody for comfort and prayers, please. Okay, moving on. It's time for public comment. Carolyn, did anyone submit to make a public comment?
There were no comments.
Okay, thank you. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda. The consent agenda consists of approval agenda for August 25th, 2020, approval of the council minutes from August 11th, 2020's regular meeting, approval from the council minutes for August 18th, 2020 special meeting, and July 2020's check register and financials. Is there a motion?
So move.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you, Councilmember Bobbitt. Are there any items for discussion? All right, hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is passed. Okay. There are no presentations on the agenda tonight. And additionally, there are no public hearings on the agenda tonight. So we're going to move to items. The first item is a lodging tax funds reallocation, and Councilmember Trope will give that presentation.
I did not prepare any materials, but give you a heads up on this, on what had happened here. The Lodging Tax Advisory Commission recommended a budget last year for events that we planned pre-COVID. A couple of these events, most notably the Freedom Festival, were canceled. So we have an opportunity to reallocate funds. And the commission was in favor of reallocating these to the idea of a light up College Place modeled after the Caldwell, Idaho program. There was one caveat on that. There was some reticence on the part of the commission to take monies from this approximately $6,000 to advertise the event. The idea being stimulating tourists to come in the middle of a pandemic may not be smart. So what we had requested and recommending to the city council is we take the $6,000 to procure the hardware items that have been outlined to put in place, things like different light fixtures and things like that that we can use for this. I think if we want to fund this, some sort of advertising, that'll have to come from separate funds this year. But they were all over the idea of getting hot on getting the hardware in place. Any questions about what we did? Thoughts?
Any questions for Councilmember Trope regarding the reallocation of the funds?
This is Councilmember Selby. Does this proposal that we're looking at tonight include that change of the 6,000 not being advertising?
Yes. What you see in the historical perspective is the way we had planned it. If you look at the actual proposal, it's 6,000 for the hardware.
Thank you.
All right, any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, is there a motion?
This is Councilmember Selby. I move that we reallocate the funds in accordance with the recommendation from the
Thank you.
Lodging Tax Committee.
This is Councilmember Sherman. I'll second.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
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 All opposed? The ayes have it. The motion is passed. Thank you, Councilmember Trope. Next on the agenda is Mr. Rizzatello's going to present of the acceptance of funds.
Thank you. So this one is basically acceptance of a grant that we went before you with a couple months back, and it was from the Federal Department of Transportation Pipeline and Hazardous Materials Program, because there is a regional gas pipeline that actually touches the very boundary of College Place at Commercial Drive, and this will pay for a consultant to basically develop all of our GIS layers, because they were done ad hoc over time for water, wastewater. Stormwater is good, but the other ones are very piecemeal. So this will be for basically a full set, and then also to acquire some GPS equipment and things of that sort. So it doesn't require any match. It's for just shy of 100,000, so about 99,540. And yeah, it will greatly allow us the ability to augment our geographic information system.
Thank you. We're going to go through the council members for questions or comments. Mr. Bobbitt?
No questions.
Thank you. Mr. Cleveland,
No questions.
Mr. Peterson,
No questions.
Ms. Selby,
No questions. I would comment that I'm really happy that we're doing this.
yes, thank you. Ms. Sherman,
No questions. I have Melody's comments though as well.
great. And Mr. Trope,
No comments other than to also echo Melody.
perfect, thank you. So if there's no additional comments or questions, is there a motion? Councilmember Sherman,
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 20-034, which accepts funds from the U.S. Department of Transportation Pipeline and Hazardous Material Safety Administration Pipeline Safety Information Grant Program.
great,
I'll
thank you.
second. This is Councilmember Cleveland.
Great, thank you. We have a first and a second. Any other discussion? Okay, seeing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. The motion is passed. Thank you. Next on the item is Mr. Rizzatello discussing the Port .09 Economic Development Sales Tax.
So yeah, this agreement is for the Port .09 Economic Development Sales Tax Grant for $200,000. It's for the Southwest wastewater sewer trunk line. And this is representing the port's portion of .09. So that's the agreement that comes before you today.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we're gonna go through for questions or comments. Councilmember Bobbitt,
No questions.
Mr. Cleveland,
No questions, but a comment that I'm always glad that our staff is very resourceful and our city administrator resourceful in finding additional funds to support development.
yes, thank you. Councilmember Peterson,
No questions.
Councilmember Selby,
No questions.
Councilmember Sherman,
No questions.
and Councilmember Trope.
No question.
Okay, great. If there's no further questions or comments, is there a motion?
This is Councilmember Bobbitt. I'd like to make a motion to adopt resolution number 20-035, which authorizes acceptance of Port .09 Economic Development Sales Tax Grant and allows city administrator to sign the agreement.
Great, thank you. Councilmember
Okay.
Peterson,
Second.
are there any other discussions? Questions? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, the ayes have it. The motion is passed. Thank you. Mr. Rizzatello, are you standing in for Mr. Hartwig today?
Yeah.
Okay,
So this item is basically to do an overlay over Evans Street, Northwest Evans Avenue. It's adjacent to the one and only light industrial facility within the city of College Place. And as such, it does get quite a bit of freight traffic on it, which has broken up the pavement pretty well. This wasn't our capital facility plan. We received bids for it. It did come in at about $35,000, and this is basically to just provide resurfacing of the roadway on Evans from Whitman Drive up to Earl, because that's the section that's most broken apart. And typically on items such as this, it'll provide the extra 10 to 15 years of life on the road before there has to be chip seal or additional preventative measures taken. But it's well past doing chip seal this go around, so we have to do the overlay.
okay, thank you. Yeah, it is a pretty bumpy street right now. Okay, we're gonna go through for any questions or comments. Mr. Bobbitt,
Is there a map that we can look at?
Oh, No, there isn't a map. Carolyn, if you could pull up Google Maps.
Oh,
What about the GIS?
Yeah, that would work too.
yeah, I'll look it up later.
Can you see
Okay.
it? Can you see it on my screen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
There it is.
Okay,
If you go north, Carolyn, to where the industrial plant is off of Whitman.
Right there.
So it's that portion of Evans Avenue that goes from Whitman up to Earl, which is that circular route to the right of Evans. And Evans is right on the periphery of town. The industrial facility is in College Place. Some of the homes on the left and right, some are in the city, some aren't. But the fact of the matter is, the traffic that beat up the road is the freight traffic coming out of that light industrial facility.
okay, I see it now. Now I understand where it's at. Thank you.
Yep.
Okay. Any questions, Mr. Cleveland?
No questions.
Mr. Peterson?
None.
Oh, Ms. Selby?
So you said that not everything around there is in the city. Is this entire project in the city?
Yeah. The
Okay.
roadway itself is in the city. It's just some of the properties to like the west of the road are not, but the road itself is.
Okay. Thank you.
Ms. Sherman?
No questions.
And Mr. Trope?
Just to confirm, so this is a road within the city limits, and we have responsibility to maintain that road.
Correct.
It's going to allow us to do that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, if there's no other questions or comments, do we have a motion? Mr. Trope?
I'd like to make a motion to award Humbert Asphalt for an amount not to exceed $35,000 for a 2-inch overlay of Northwest Evans from Whitman to Earl.
Great, thank you. Councilmember Sherman?
I'll second.
Okay. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, hearing none, the ayes have it and the motion is passed. We are going to go ahead and close our meeting today. We're going to save the administrative reports for later in consideration and respect for the staff's time as they had a difficult day today and continue to mourn Mr. Gordon. So we will save these administrative reports for later. If there are any other items for discussion before we close? Okay, hearing none, do we have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, if there's no objections, the meeting is adjourned at 7:18 p.m. Thank you, everybody, and please lift up Mr. Gordon's family again. Thank you.
Thank you.